This is a gold mine in northern Sudan. Sudan is the third largest gold producer in all of Africa, behind South Africa and Ghana. Gold makes up 70% of its exports, and it's estimated 85% of that comes from small-scale mining, not large industrial operations. The country's officially declared gold production has nearly doubled since the start of the war, 65 tons of bullion last year, but the real figure is estimated to be much higher. Analysts say most of the illicitly exported gold is smuggled abroad by the paramilitary RSF. Sudan has gold deposits across various regions. These include the Red Sea Hills, the Nuba Mountains and Darfur. Then there's copper, found mainly in the Red Sea Hills and the Nuba Mountains. Copper is increasingly valuable because it is vital for the AI and tech boom. Sudan has uranium deposits in several areas, including the Nuba Mountains, Darfur and along the border with Central African Republic. Sudan also has significant iron ore deposits, particularly in Darfur, Kordofan and the Red Sea Hills, and there are rare earth deposits, especially in the Nuba Mountains and the Red Sea regions. Perhaps Sudan's most obvious natural resource is the River Nile. The Blue and White Niles merge in Khartoum. The river is crucial for agriculture and the production of hydroelectric power. Sudan also possesses significant oil reserves, especially in its southern regions. Some oil reserves were lost when South Sudan gained independence in 2011, but China is a major investor in Sudan's oil. It is transported through pipelines to Port Sudan, a northern city of huge strategic importance, giving access to the Red Sea and international markets. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
Joining us in the studio is Ahmed Ibrahim. He is a former staffer in the transitional government under the former Prime Minister Hamdok and an independent analyst. Many thanks for joining the programme, Ahmed. So, Sudan has a long history of conflict, but this latest war stems from a power struggle between the General al-Burhan and the RSF leader Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, and that began in late 2021. If we could start there, can you remind us how this partnership broke down?
Actually, the partnership broke down in early 2023 when there were deliberations over what was called then the framework agreement. And the main issue that broke the negotiations over the transitional period was the RSF, the Janjaweed militia, was supposed to be integrated into the national army. But for various variables, whether geopolitical, whether internal politics, this didn't happen because many bets were on the RSF militia to actually take over the resources of the country and to replace the national army and to actually take over the whole country. The main issue was the time frame to reintegrate the RSF into the army and how that should be phased out. And the other main thing is the leadership of the new forces, which was a complete delegitimization of the national army and a somewhat more legitimization for the RSF. These were the main points of contention that led to this war.
And we listed there some of the critical resources that Sudan has,
Indeed.
from gold to copper to oil. That played a big role in this, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And it will continue to do for some time because it's not just the rare earth minerals, it's not just the arable land. Sudan also has a very long sea line over the Red Sea, and it's a very and it's geopolitically placed between the Arab world and the sub-Saharan Africa. It's somewhat of a link, and we can see this in Darfur right now. Many reports from Western media outlets, from African media outlets that says even now Sudan is the world leading exporter of gum arabic, which along with livestock, all of these are being smuggled out of Darfur, out of Kordofan, and being re-exported through other East African countries as part of the plot to actually strip Sudan of its national resources that should be preserved for future generations. This is not just a power struggle between two generals. This is part of a geopolitical attempt to restructure the region. We see this in Gaza, we've seen it in Yemen, we've seen it in Libya, we've seen it in Syria. We see it all over the place. Sudan is not the end, it's not the beginning, and it's not going to stop there.
But unfortunately, it is the ordinary citizens in Sudan who are paying the price. I wonder if you could sum up your understanding of what is happening to the civilians that are left behind in Al Fasher.
The civilians in Al Fasher right now are experiencing unprecedented levels of violence, of savagery actually. We saw videos coming out of horrible places across the world, but we didn't see something that like the videos coming out of Al Fasher. People, RSF soldiers, mercenaries who are coming from all over the world, from Colombia to the Sahel, to East Africa, to the Horn, are grouping on the civilians of Al Fasher, hundreds of thousands, killing them, summarily executing them, the wounded, the elderly, raping women, sexually enslaving women, as UN reports and human rights organizations have said over and over again. The levels of violence that the people of Al Fasher, and before that the people of Al Jazeera, the people of Khartoum, the people of Sinnar, Blue Nile, White Nile, all those Sudanese citizens, women, men, children, elderly, young, the levels of violence that they have been subjected to is not just because those who are subjecting them to violence enjoy violence. This is part of the strategy to eradicate the Sudanese people from their land, to uproot them. It's actually a full-scale genocide that people are not paying attention to.
And very, very briefly,
Yes.
as you say, human rights organizations have been warning for quite a long time about what is going on, and yet it feels like it has been allowed to continue without much criticism, if you like, from the international community. Why?
There is criticism. There is criticism, Yamari, but it's just lip service. There is no actual action. This war, as it's being fought on the ground, on the bodies of civilians, on the bodies of the Sudanese civilians, millions of them, displacing 15 millions of Sudanese from their homeland, attempting to make them permanent refugees. As well, it's being fought in the international communities, organizations, in human rights organizations. As we're seeing in Geneva, we're seeing it in New York, we're seeing it in the Arab region. There is, as in parallel to the war, there is a war of narrative. People are trying to showcase it as Sudanese killing Sudanese, as that it's a war between two generals, that it's a war of the former regime trying to come back. All of these are trying to weaponize narratives against the Sudanese people.
But it is much
to
more
break them
complicated
apart
than that.
and to have them not to defend their country. The war here is not about anything but the sovereignty of Sudan, the unity of and territorial integrity of Sudan. What happened in Al Fasher is not the end. This is not going to be some Libyan model. No one wants a closed state from the sea. It's going to come to the rest of Sudan, but the Sudanese people are resisting. And this is not just something that's going to happen to civilians. This is going to be something that will, if is continued to be allowed to happen, it will go to the entire region, whether the Horn of Africa, the Sahel, it will disintegrate.
Ahmed, I wish we had more time to discuss
Definitely.
this further. Ahmed Ibrahim, a former staffer in the transitional government under the former Prime Minister Hamdok, now an independent analyst. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.